So let's go back to our main storyboard, and what I'm going to do is change this button icon. So we need to import it if we haven't done already. I'm going to open my assets here, and this is the add button. I can just drag here, close my assets, and open this up. So let's get back to our main storyboard, choose our button. The title is gonna be nothing here, and image is gonna be add. Click enter, and now our button is imported. I can say command equals, so that this will resize my button, but this becomes the size of my image actually. So let's command Z here. I'm going to change the constraints here, and width I'm going to set it to 35 as our, actually this is 30 as our height, so it will be a nice round button. Actually let's do it 40 on 40. And let's do the trailing space. All right, let's keep it 8. So our button is 40 on 40. There is nothing else we are going to do here because everything else will stay as it is. So the last thing I want to do is to change the background color to be dark gray. So this is the exact same color as our table view, so that it doesn't have this difference in our user interface. So this will be just like extra cell here with our nice buttons there. So this is done. We can move on to our all locations, and now we can write actually our functionality here. So what we want to do whenever our user clicks on Celsius or on Fahrenheit, we want to make sure that we save this information in our user defaults, so we know that which temp format our user is using. So for that, I'm going to create a func, and I need a private func, and I'm going to call this update temp format in user defaults. And this is going to take one parameter, which is our value from our segmented control. So I say new value. It's going to be an integer. So now we have a new value that we want to save in our user defaults. First, let's get rid of this print statement, and instead we're going to call our function and pass our sender dot selected segmented index. So we pass our value to our new update for a temp format function here. Then what we want to do is to save this in our user defaults. So I will say user defaults dot set value, and our value is going to be value int for key, and value will be our new value for key, and let's put our key temp format. And then we can say user defaults dot synchronize, so everything is saved to our user defaults. Apart from this, what else we need to do? Imagine our users come here, change the temp value, and then they just go back to our weather view here. So what we want to do actually is to refresh this view, because currently our user interface is displaying a temp in a different format. So let's say if we are seeing it in Celsius and then my user comes and selects Fahrenheit and this is saved, I want to immediately show my user the new temp format that he chose. So what we want to do here is to say should refresh is equals to true, so that next time we dismiss our view and come here, we automatically set our should refresh to true, so that our user interface will be refreshed. Apart from update temp format, we want to also have a function to load temp format from user defaults. And the reason we want to do it is, let's say when I open my view here, no matter what I have selected here, it always comes on Celsius. So now it's Fahrenheit, and if I open it up again, and we are on Celsius. So what I want to do is every time my user opens, we want to see what is actually saved in our user default. So if it's Celsius, it should display as Celsius, or if it's Fahrenheit, it should display as the Fahrenheit as selected. So whenever we open our view, we want to load the information from user defaults and then set our segmented control value according to whatever we have in user defaults. So let's actually put a mark here and call this user defaults. And underneath, I'm going to say private func, and this is going to be load from load temp format from user defaults. This function doesn't have to take any parameters. We just have to check if there is something saved under the key temp format, because on the first run, of course, we are not going to have anything there. So we say if let index is equals, and we say user defaults dot value for key, and our key is temp format. Copy paste this so you don't have any typos there. So in case if we have an index, I'm going to say temp segment outlet dot selected segment index is equals, and we say index that we have received, since this is an any, so it can be any type, and we know that when we are saving an integer. I can safely force unwrap this to an int. If, however, we have nothing in our user defaults, I want to set my temp segmented outlet dot selected index to be equals to 0. So it's our Celsius in my case.